I cannot believe it's been over a year since I started using the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG. Honestly, it's been an amazing experience, almost perfect. The glossy OLED panel delivers stunning image quality, motion clarity is excellent, and after all this time, I've seen no signs of burn-in. My only gripe? Text clarity. OLED's unconventional sub-pixel layout just doesn't play well with fine text, especially for productivity. So I started looking for a relatively affordable QD-OLED alternative. And that's when I stumbled upon the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG. It's not ASUS's latest release, in fact it's been around for a while now, built on 3rd gen QD-OLED tech. But I'm still curious, can it hold its own in 2025? And more importantly, is it a worthy upgrade from the XG27A QDMG? Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's get into it. As always, honest disclaimer, this video is not paid, but I specifically requested this from ROG Philippines as a potential upgrade. They won't see this video or even my script prior to release, so rest assured everything you'll hear is my honest take. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether I'm making the switch or not. Now, the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG features a 27-inch 1440p QD-OLED panel with up to 360Hz refresh rate and 0.03 milliseconds response time. It also features a custom heatsink partnered with ASUS OLED Care Plus to prevent burn-in, backed with a 3-year warranty. It also boasts great image quality and color accuracy with up to 99% DCI-P3 coverage. Oh, it also has a USB Type-C port that can function as a DisplayPort alt mode with 90 watts power delivery. Lastly, it also has a built-in USB hub with KVM. Now, the packaging follows the usual Strix formula, a plain brown box with minimal branding, probably to reduce cost and provide a quick visual cue that sets it apart from the premium Swift lineup. Inside the box, everything is well protected. We have a mesh bag that houses all the cables in their own individual packaging. So we have a DisplayPort cable, an HDMI cable, a USB A to B cable, a USB-C cable, and a power cable. No power adapter, which means it has an internal power supply. We also have a microfiber cloth, a couple of paperwork, and a set of ROG stickers. As for the components, we have the VESA mount adapter, the support base, and underneath the styrofoam, we also have the support bar. The assembly process couldn't be easier than this. Just snap in the support bar with its automatic locking mechanism, insert the support base, and lock it in place using the built-in screw, and you're pretty much all set. And if you want to hang this on a wall or a monitor arm, you can use the included VESA mount adapter. Now, the first thing that caught my attention here is the finish. It's almost as if it's also glossy, but not quite. It actually has an anti-glare finish and a noticeably different tint, but more on that later. Now, like with most ROG Strix monitors with a similar support bar in base, we pretty much have all the adjustments here, including up to 120mm height adjustment, 45° swivel, up to 20° tilt, and 90° pivot for portrait mode. And as you can tell, the bezels are quite thin with a prominent lip at the bottom with an ROG logo that also illuminates. At the back, also very familiar, we have a bunch of ventilations that help the custom heatsink dissipate heat. We also have a massive RGI logo here with customizable RGB. Another ROG logo here on the support bar and also here at the corner, because why not? We also have a cable management hole here and a 1/4-inch thread up top for mounting things like camera and lights. In terms of I/O, we have the power port, 3 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports, 1 USB-B port, 1 DisplayPort 1.4, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, a USB Type-C port with DP alt mode and 90 watts power delivery, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. We also have a Kensington lock slot nicely hidden here at the center. Aside from that, we also have the 5-way joystick and a couple of buttons here for the OSD settings. By the way, the base also has a smartphone holder. But enough about the physical attributes, let's talk about the thing that matters the most, which is display quality. What I like about the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG and any ROG gaming monitors is the fact that they are not only made for gaming, but are also highly capable for productivity and creative work. This monitor in particular covers at least 100% sRGB, 91% NTSC, 94% Adobe RGB, and 99% P3 color spaces, which exactly checks out with its rated specification. Now, typical brightness on SDR wasn't specified in the product page, but as per testing, it can reach up to 290 nits at max. And since it uses an OLED panel, we don't have to worry about backlight bleeding at any angle, as well as dark spots on a white background. And scrolling text don't have a noticeable color shifting. That's a thing of the past with TN and IPS panels. Now, the image quality of the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG is genuinely impressive, with deep contrast and vibrant colors that really shine in darker environments. It also offers a solid 178-degree viewing angle, maintaining brightness and contrast even when viewed from the side. Now, the reason I emphasize darker environments is because QD-OLED panels like this, especially with anti-reflective coatings, can be quite sensitive to ambient lighting. In bright rooms, the screen tends to reflect light in a way that reveals a noticeable purple tint. It's not a flaw, just a characteristic of the coating and sub-pixel structure. But it's something to keep in mind if you're working or gaming in a well-lit space like what I have here in the studio. So if I'm going to use this as my daily driver, I'll definitely keep the lights to a minimum when gaming or watching videos. For productivity though, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. As for text clarity, the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG uses a 3rd Gen QD-OLED, which features a triangular RGB subpixel layout with no white subpixel, unlike WOLED panels. It's also more compact than previous generations, resulting in better text clarity. However, if you compare it to the latest 4th Gen QD-OLED like the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM, the difference is quite substantial. I remember when I reviewed the PG27UCDM that I was so blown away by its text clarity that I wanted to upgrade. We'll talk more about this later in the video, but yeah, text clarity on the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG is pretty decent on its own, but there are others that are noticeably better. Now let's talk about gaming features and performance. For starters, aside from the usual built-in OSD controls, you can also take advantage of the ASUS Display Widget Center software, which in my opinion is more convenient if you're planning on changing a bunch of settings, since you can use your mouse to move around. You can set up basic image quality parameters here or take advantage of the built-in gaming overlays like crosshair, timer, FPS counter, and even display alignment for multiple display setups. We also have a bunch of OLED care features here that you can explore, multi-screen options, and most importantly, hotkeys, which are not available on the built-in OSD controls. And you can actually open the OSD settings using a hotkey and move around using just your keyboard instead of fiddling around with the 5-way joystick at the back. So yeah, convenience and multiple options are definitely appreciated. Now, aside from the on-screen overlays, I also like the uniform brightness feature, which reduces peak brightness and keeps a more balanced and comfortable viewing experience. We also have the familiar shadow boost feature, raising the shadows while maintaining an overall balanced image. And you can even use the dynamic option for automatic adjustments. My favorite though for Valorant is the FPS mode game visual setting, which makes everything brighter and vibrant. Now, while the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG features ASUS eLMB technology to reduce motion blur, it doesn't support eLMB sync, which means you need to choose between blur reduction and variable refresh rate depending on your preference. And honestly, I'll choose variable refresh rate over eLMB, since eLMB, as you can tell, reduces the brightness quite significantly. Now, what I appreciate even more here is the fact that the panel on this monitor is tested and validated to run at 360Hz natively, no overclocking involved. This removes the risk of unwanted artifacts and potential issues in the future. It's also a true 10-bit panel and not 8-bit plus FRC, which means it has smooth color gradients, perfect for creative work. And aside from that, it's also G-Sync compatible and supports variable refresh rate from 48 all the way to 360Hz. Now, partner that with the 0.03 milliseconds GTG response time and you'll get a super smooth gaming experience with minimal ghosting, artifacts, and screen tearing. And let me tell you this, 360Hz is really nice. I mean, if you're coming from 144 to 180Hz, you'll definitely feel the difference in smoothness. Now, the question remains, am I switching from the ROG Strix OLED XG27AQDMG to the XG27ACDNG? Honestly, I don't think so. And there are a couple of reasons why. First, text clarity. While it's often argued that QD-OLED panels offer better text rendering than WOLEDs, my eyes say otherwise. The moment I placed them side by side, I didn't see a significant improvement. In fact, I think the XG27AQDMG looks sharper, though that could just be familiarity kicking in. Second, I don't think the upgrade is drastic. Sure, the refresh rate is faster at 360Hz, but aside from that and the panel difference, most of the features are virtually the same. That said, if you're coming from an older VA or IPS gaming monitor, the XG27ACDNG is a massive leap forward. It strikes a great balance between panel size, resolution, and refresh rate, paired with ultra-fast response times. It's also capable enough for creative work thanks to its accurate color reproduction. And you also get a solid suite of gaming-focused software features, plus flexible I/O, including a built-in hub with KVM and a USB-C port that handles both power and display. Ultimately, what you're getting here is outstanding image quality, deep blacks, high contrast, and vivid colors. Just keep in mind, it really shines in darker environments. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to ROG Philippines for letting me experience this. You can get this using the link below if you're interested. Now if you're looking for something more premium, check out my review of the ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG by clicking this. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you appreciate this video, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.